Hey everyone, welcome back to the BMW Blog YouTube channel and welcome to Munich, my second home these days, and I'm excited to be here because I get to see a new BMW. And this is the new X2 family, and here with me I have the X2 M35i. In the other room I'm going to show you the BMW iX2, but before I do that we're going to learn all there is to know about the new X2, and to do that I have here with me Stefan Wiedemann, the project manager for the BMW X2 family. Stefan, thanks for having me here. Tell me more about the BMW X2 project, and then we can talk about the specs, the design, and a lot more.
Okay, yeah, first of all, what we see immediately, that this is a very sporty and extroverted car. So for the first time in the compact segment, we have here, for example, the illuminated kidney, which really stands out and enhances the overall extrovertedness of the car.
So now, clearly the new X2 looks completely different than before. I mean, from the front end to the side that we're going to see from the rear end. Maybe take me back to the early stages of the project and what you had in mind with this car compared to the outgoing X2.
Yeah, first of all, with this car, we also want to attract new target groups, new customers, who especially for them it is important to have a very extroverted and sporty car. And moreover, with this X2 we have a very clear differentiation now between X1 and the X2 on the other hand as the more sporty version.
So is it fair to say that this is more of a crossover design than the hatchback style on the previous X2?
Kind of, yes, I would say so.
Okay, so now let's talk about proportions maybe a little bit. So maybe we start with the front. Is it wider? Is it bigger? Is it longer?
The front itself is a couple of millimeters wider, also to get this wide stance and this sportiness of the car.
Okay, now if you look at from the side, and we'll take a look at that, how much longer the car really is.
The increase in length is really considerable, so we are talking about more than 19 centimeters, and this also enables this coupe-like shape of the car.
Gotcha. So now let's talk about this specific model. So this is a frozen Portimao BMW X2 M35i.
Right.
It sits at the top of the X2 family, basically just like the X1 M35i. But what's unique to this car maybe compared to the regular X2 cars?
Yeah, we have a couple of features that only the M35i has. Starting here with these horizontal kidney bars, which are exclusive for the M35i. And then also we have here this splitter at the front, which this car has, and also this enhances the sportiness of the car. Okay.
M Sport Pro package on this car.
Correct.
Can you get an M Sport package or a Pro package on the other X2 models as well?
You can. What comes with the M Sport Pro is, for example, the black kidney grille and also other parts of the car which are then in black.
Gotcha. Is the geometry of the front end or the bumper different on this one than you would get on the M Sport on a different X2?
No, apart from the kidney grille that I've already mentioned and the splitter, the overall geometry is exactly the same.
Okay, perfect. Now let's talk about the headlights, right? So clearly inspired by the X1 family. I do see the blue accents there. Is that something that you can get in all the markets, or it's specific to a certain market?
In some markets, the blue elements are legally not allowed. For example, in the US markets, these lights come without the blue accents.
Gotcha. Okay, so you can get probably blacked out accents in the US market, for example.
Exactly.
Perfect. All right, let's move to the side maybe a little bit so we can see the shape, because that's probably where the new X2 really stands out, right? So clearly very crossover design. Now let's talk maybe about some of the M elements first, right? So what do we have on here that's specific to the M35i?
First of all, we see the M-specific mirrors in the outside with the M-typical shape, which also enhances the extrovertedness of the car. Then we have the exclusive 21-inch rims for the M35i, and this car in particular also features the M compound brake. Okay, so what's the wheel size range on the MPA model? So the base model comes with 20-inch and can be upgraded to the 21-inch that we can see here. Okay, and if we take it back to the other X2 models, what's the range there? Maybe it's worth mentioning. Yeah, so the standard car starts with a combustion engine with 18-inch and up to 21-inch wheels. And if we talk about the all-electric version, starts with 17 and goes up to 20-inch. Perfect. Brakes, so tell me the brakes options that we have. So this one is the top probably, but exactly. Maybe start with the base option. The base of the M35i comes with a Blue Sport brake, which comes then in red if you take the M Sports Pro. And this, as we already said, is the top brake in gray, also with 19-inch and the holes in the brake disc.
This is the sportiest version of all of them, basically.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Same thing as on the X1, you have flush door handles. It's more probably because of aerodynamics reasons as well, right?
Aerodynamics as well as the sleek and very clean look of the side of the car.
Gotcha. And this is like from the side we can clearly see the crossover shape, right? So this is more of a SUV crossover SAC type of vehicle than ever before.
Yes, and especially we have this sloping roofline, which also enhances this coupe shape character of the car.
Okay, so now I'm looking at the roof basically, and I see a split, right? So you have glass, almost half of, or actually more than half of the entire roof line, and then you have normal metal in the back. What's the reason there?
So what we have here is the panoramic roof,
Okay.
which is a very big glass surface. So from the outside, it gives this black roof appearance, also very sporty, fits very well to the car. And also from the interior, we have more glass surface, so we have more light in the interior and also a better feeling of roominess.
Okay. All right, let's move to the back maybe so we can take a look at the rear design, because clearly the car has changed quite a bit. Probably the biggest change also when you look at the design from the back. You have a new interpretation of the taillights. BMW talks about the L-shaped taillights quite a bit, but this one looks extremely different. So maybe tell me the reasons for having these dual headlamps also here.
Yeah. So first of all, the overall design also fits, in my opinion, very well to the character of the car. But also, if we see this arrow-shaped iconic headlights and backlights, they kind of fit very well together.
So that's the idea, to kind of match this with the front end, basically. All right. Now, if you look at the spoiler here, it is specific to the M35i?
Yes, the standard version is a little bit different. So for the M35i and also with the M Sports Pro, we get this little wing, so a little bit more extroverted even than the standard version.
Integration of the camera and the washer directly into the spoiler now?
Correctly, but also in the base spoiler.
In this base spoiler too, okay. It is specific to the X2 basically?
Yes.
Got it, perfect. Diffuser, also unique to the MPA?
Yes, the MPA is the only car among the combustion engines which really shows the exhaust pipes. So we have 4 of them, each 100 millimeters.
So let's talk about that, right? A lot of people complain about having quad pipes on a non-full M car. We've seen it on the X1 M35i first. We knew it was coming, but maybe explain to me what's the reason for having the quad pipes on a non-full M car?
Yes, so in the compact segment, here we don't have a real M high-performance car, but we have a lot of customers who want to have a very, very sporty appearance. And if you look at the whole car, including these quad pipes, I think we have achieved that.
Okay, so speaking of performance, tell me what kind of engine you have in this car. What's the power output, maybe some of the specs and figures and all of that?
Yeah, the engine is exactly the same that we already know from the X1. So in the US version, the M35i has 233 kilowatts, and for the European and other markets, we have 221.
What's the 0 to 100 kph on both versions then?
In Europe, we're talking about 5.4, and in the US, it's 5.2.
Which transmission do you use for the engine?
It's the 7 transmission.
So the 7-speed DCT?
Exactly. Yeah.
From the X1, basically?
The same one.
Got it. Does it use a 12-volt or a 48-volt battery in there?
On the M35i version, we have the 12-volt system.
Okay, but you can get a 48-volt on different versions of the X2?
Correct. For example, the 20i S-Drive has the 48-volt system.
Now let's talk about the space, right? I guess that's very important because you have probably a lot more space in this car than the previous X2. How does it compare maybe to that and also to the X1?
Yes, if we compare it to the previous X2, we have a significant increase in trunk volume. So we're talking about something around 100 liters, depending on which variants you compare.
So what's the variation? So on the BEV version, the iX2, you have, what's the starting point?
On the BEV version, you have 525 liters. And on this 12-volt version, we have 560. If we use also the underfloor compartment, which is for this compact segment quite a good value, I would say.
Gotcha. So 565, it's the max that you can get in this one, basically, with that opened. Okay.
Correct.
Perfect. All right, so now maybe we take a look inside, because I guess things changed there quite a bit, and we can talk about the design changes there, so let's hop in. Stefan, so we're inside the BMW X2. Tell me first what's new compared to the outgoing X2, but also maybe compared to the X1.
First of all, what is new, we have a new position here of this stitching within the dashboard, and that also enables us here to have this beautiful Alcantara, which comes here together with the Alcantara seats, either in the M Sports package or the M35i.
Okay, so if you look at this and we look at the X1, this will be a little bit different, right? So that section is a little bit different, and that's one of the changes. As far as the seats, M Sport seats, same as in the X1 M35i.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you look at the screen, clearly part of the same family of new large curve display. Which operating system is this one using?
This is the latest operating system 9.
Okay, what's something new with the system compared to the outgoing one? I'm assuming the quick select is one of them, right?
One of them.
Perfect.
You can, for example, select always to have the map in the background, and you can very easily access always the home screen, the climate menu, or the all apps menu.
Gotcha. So if you do that, that will be the climate menu basically. Got it. Now the car is off clear, not going to see that. And then you're saying if I go here, I can also change some of the modes and the BMW maps and all of that.
Correct.
So this is now part of standard of the BMW X2 versus some of the X1 cars will actually get it later on basically.
Yes, they get the same latest operating system.
Perfect. M Sport steering wheel?
This is the M Sport steering wheel. If you have the M35i, you get the red 12 o'clock mark and also a unique stitching in the M colors.
Okay, perfect. I see a boost mode.
Yes, so this is exactly, this is for quick shifting on the steering wheel pedals.
Perfect. Simplify shapes here, right? So there is no more iDrive controller. I guess kind of expected this because it's not in the X1. What was the idea of really removing that iDrive controller maybe?
Yeah, first of all, we have a very clear design in the interior, not a lot of switches, and we have a focus on touch and speech. So we have this large display, which is in a good touch position, and also an improved speech function, which enables you to operate the system.
Gotcha. If I look up, you mentioned when you're on the outside, the panoramic roof. So basically you can open it up and you get some additional light in here. You're not able to adjust the opaque, right, on the screen. So it's just one basically option there. Understood. Perfect. If we're talking about the headroom in the back, can you give me some maybe figures, comparisons to the X2 maybe, the previous one and the X1?
Yes, so the headroom overall is on the same level as the predecessor model. It's a little bit lower than the X1 due to the shape of the roofline. You have a little bit less, but overall I would say it's sufficient.
Okay, perfect. So anything else that will be different from the X1 basically?
So not in this car. We have a new upholstery color available for the X2 in a bicolor combination. But if we look at the seats here and the rest of the geometry, it's identical to the X1.
Perfect. Okay, so now let's kind of wrap it up and talk about the market availability, maybe launch times, and when we see this car on the road, basically.
Yeah, so the launch of the car will be in March next year, and it will be available in this version that we're sitting in here, the M35i. Depending on the market, also the all-electric versions, combustion engine as a petrol version for the S, for example, the 28i xDrive that we already know from the X1, and also for mainly European markets, the diesel version.
Gotcha. Pricing on the X2 M35i for European market?
The pricing starts in the European market at 66,500 for the M35i.
Okay, sounds good. I guess the next step for us will be to drive the car sometimes next year to see what's the performance of that. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the insight, and I'll see you in the next one.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.